I speak for every single one of us combat sports fans when I say this: the biggest clown show, the biggest sham, the most fraudulent sport in combat sports history as of right now is boxing, and it's not even close. I sat there like a dickhead for 2 days in a row and actually got excited over two fights I don't give a fuck about: Jake Paul versus Joshua and fucking Andrew Tate. And both days I left feeling like a fucking fool for actually sitting there wasting my time watching this shit, watching this slop. And I expected good fights. All of us who watched those two fights did not pay, and all of us should be fucking compensated for our time for actually watching this shit and expecting something good. We have no MMA for 6 weeks. We all flock to the same thing. We all flock to this fucking bullshit. These two shit fights, all of us. And we're left with this taste in our mouth until past New Year's, until UFC 324. And as of right now, it has never been more clear, more fucking vivid, that MMA Mogs boxing so badly, so horrifically, it's not even close. And not only is it not even close, if you go ahead and grab the greatest, what's the greatest boxing fight? The one I know is Conor Benn versus Eubank Jr. I watched that live, and that was a crazy fight. That was a very good fight. Go ahead and show a guy who's never watched any combat sports, show him that fight, and show him Gaethje Chandler, show him Hamza Burns, show him Whitaker Romero, show him Ilya Charles, and he's gonna decide which sport I'm gonna stick with. I can only watch one for the rest of my life. Which one am I gonna watch? Of course he's gonna pick MMA, and that's the best versus the best. Imagine the average fucking fight. They're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? If they pick boxing based off what the best fight, and they somehow pick boxing, they're gonna be so disappointed when they have to watch it for the rest of their life and watch this fucking slop constantly. I can't even begin to fucking understand the mentality of a hardcore boxing fan that somehow would pick the shittest combat sport. I'm saying as of right now, the shittest combat sport. You don't have your prime time anymore, Muhammad Ali, all this shit. You are so bad right now. How could you pick that over watching MMA? Even if you just had to watch ONE FC or PFL, how could you watch boxing over that? These hardcore boxing fans need a fucking autopsy. They need a colonoscopy or something to find out why they are the way they are. Literally, how could you watch the greatest combat sport, actually the greatest sport of all time in MMA? How could you not watch that, and instead you would rather watch a one-dimensional sport in boxing that you're never gonna get a finish? There's rarely any knockouts. Even in heavyweight boxing, there's rarely any knockouts. You are so protected by rules. You are so protected by everything, by the production, by everything. Tailor-made fights. The sport is so fucking horrific. It's such a disgrace to combat sports when compared to MMA. It's actually not even close. It's literally coughing baby versus nuclear bomb. And you could say, yo, bias, oh, yeah, MMA channel. No way. Reset my memory. Wipe my brain clear. Give me boxing, MMA. Do what I just said. Show me the best fights of each. I promise I will somehow get back to MMA. This is irrefutable. Literally no one can disagree with me. The number one thing we have that you will never have, you can never replicate it. Even just MMA is a better sport. Like, it's not even debatable, but I'm gonna give you the reasons why. But this is one thing you can't even argue against. Bruce Buffer Mogs every single announcer in boxing history. And the only one close is his brother, Michael Buffer. The presentation, you literally have a guy talking about and you got Bruce Buffer going crazy on the mic in UFC. Him alone puts MMA production top notch. Just Bruce Buffer. Imagine PFL had Bruce Buffer. There is no second best to a Bruce Buffer. There's literally not even anyone close. So him alone puts MMA up 10 points. Done. Literally, you have an entire arena going it's time. At the same time Bruce Buffer is announcing the fights. The amount of aura that man has. He warms up before announcing. He gives goosebumps to everyone. In boxing, you're about to fall asleep listening to this shit. Zero energy, zero vitality, bro. There's no effort into making the fans feel like the hype is now. We're about to fight, not like MMA. And another thing, in boxing, they wear the fucking massive gloves. They know exactly just the angle to turn their chin before they get hit so that they don't get fucking sparked unconscious. They have the rules that when they get rocked, they just hug you. Boom. I'm safe for another 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes of clinching. It is a sport designed for you not to get knocked out, for there to be zero interesting moments, no finishes. The sport is literally designed to grab your money. And you don't believe me? I'll tell you exactly why. Why in MMA do we have 3 and 5 round fights? It's so that a draw is very unlikely. There are draws in MMA when you get a 10-8 round, right? That's usually when it happens. In boxing, it's literally 6, 8, 10, 12. Why is it 6, 8, 10, 12? So that you can get a draw, 3 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 4 rounds. They do that just to build a second fight that will be bigger than the first fight. And it's not even about bigger, it's not even about more entertaining. It's just a money grab. We can make them fight again. Everyone will watch that second fight. In MMA, it's designed for someone's getting fucking knocked out. Someone's getting submitted. You guys are gonna get entertained. This is not about money. We're gonna make money from you, of course. But the first biggest priority is entertainment. How many great moments do we have in MMA? Literally a split-second mistake. You drop your right hand for 1 second after throwing it. You're done. Fight's over. You don't have to be better to win. In boxing, you have fucking someone like Canelo who's so skilled that they're never gonna get knocked out. MMA, smaller gloves, more chances of a finish. No fucking clinching, hugging. Oh, I'm just gonna stand there and ref can't break us up. Never. The only time the ref steps in an MMA fight, and could you even call boxing a fight at this point? Honestly, could you? Yeah, they punch each other, but compared to MMA, it looks like fucking finger painting or some shit. Like, it looks like they're fucking drawing with crayons. Mixed martial arts, UFC. You have to have action. It's insane. All the fights are good. The worst you're gonna get in UFC is like an Islam JDM performance where I liked it because I'm an Islam fan, but I can understand how everyone hates that shit where it's just smudging the entire time. That's the worst you're gonna get, and it's like once in however long. Boxing, it's so likely that shit's gonna happen. You're rarely gonna get a knockout. It's such a shit sport, and the rules enforce its shitness. And you realize that every time you watch boxing, it's just, you don't even know who's on the card. You're just watching the main event because nobody gives a fuck about the first fight on the card. You have a boxer versus a boxer. In MMA, you could have like a wrestling guy versus a kickboxer. It's so many dynamic matchups. You don't know who's versus who, what could happen. A jiu-jitsu guy versus a wrestler versus a wrestler, and they end up as a stand-up fight, like Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. An entire boxing card, who's watching that shit? You have boxing versus boxing. Boxing versus boxing. The most interesting it will be like, Southpaw versus Orthodox. Who gives a fuck? In MMA, you can watch an entire card and be entertained the entire time. Every single fight in MMA, that's a real fight, by the way. A real fight, not a boxing match, a real fight. Every single fight feels different. They have their own dynamic. In boxing, every fight is the same. One guy's looking to counter, the other guy 1-2, oh, missed, clinch, reset, ref, set them back. And the wait between fights is unbearable. You have to wait. By the time that women's co-main event started on the Jake Paul card, if you started watching from then to when Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua actually start throwing punches, it would have been an hour and 30 minutes from the co-main, which takes like what, 40 minutes? 50 minutes max? You wait an hour and 30 to 2 hours to wait for the Jake Paul fight to start. And you're waiting. Wait more. Oh, here we go, analyst desk. The fight's crazy. We're gonna have a good fight. You're talking about the fight. You're not bringing up any intricacies of the fight. You're not bringing up anything special about the fight. There's nothing interesting that you're saying. All you're doing is trying to sell the fight to us. Like, they're literally saying, oh, it's gonna be a fantastic fight. Tune in for this one. We're all tuned in. Everyone is tuned in, waiting for it to start. You're talking about how it's gonna be interesting. We're all here. Start the fight. We're waiting. In MMA, you have a co-main event start. If it ends in the third round by finish, 25 minutes later, from the start of the co-main, the main event fighters will be walking out, let alone their fight will have been started. Boxing, it's like, commercial break. Analyst desk. The analyst desk is the worst part. They say fuck all. At least in MMA, you got Anthony Smith actually spinning some knowledge. I know people don't like him, but he spits knowledge. Boxing, commercial, analyst desk, talking bullshit the entire time, talking bullshit. And then the worst part, I hate this the fucking most. They go to some guy in the crowd and they ask him. They ask him a question. Yo, what do you think about the fight? They go to some influencer asking. No one gives a fuck about what they have to say. In MMA, if they went to like GSP between fights and be like, what do you think about this main event? That's something good. They could implement that. That's a good idea. But if you go to fucking Nina Drama and ask her what she thinks, nobody gives a fuck about what she thinks. The feeling boxing gives you, it is undisputed. This is the feeling they give you. They want to waste your time. They are using you just to have elongated viewers. They have you viewing. They're like, look, we maintain 1 million views over 1 hour. They are using you just to run ads, to gain your money, to take your money from you. They're just using you. You wait that long. Maybe you're expecting, if you're a fucking idiot like me, you're expecting, oh, we're going to see something crazy. You see a shit fight. Like, people say Islam and JDM was shit. You see that times 10 in shitness and you leave feeling what? You leave like a fucking fool. Like, I just sat down and watched this. Oh, but the technicality of the boxing, the way he zigs and zags, and nobody cares. MMA, you have so much more skill. You need to know everything, bro. If you make one slip up, if you don't practice wrestling that one day, you're done. In boxing, I'm not even joking. Anthony Joshua is so shit, by the way. He's so shit. And by the way, do you think that fight was rigged? To me, it looked like he was holding back. But MMA fighters are so much more skilled. Imagine someone from boxing. Bring a Deontay Wilder to MMA, to UFC. Do JDM versus Deontay Wilder. I'm not even joking. JDM would fucking box his head off and beat the fuck out of him. Do Canelo versus Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg would look like prime John Jones. MMA fighters are just built different. You have someone who picks boxing, who they know they're gonna get paid fucking tons if they make it to the top. And then you have someone who picks MMA, where the pay isn't crazy. You take way more risks. You have to develop an entire arsenal of skills. Wrestling, takedown defense, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, Sambo, Judo, and they get paid less. They're literally built different. It's a harder sport. The rule sets enforce it to be a harder sport in MMA. In boxing, Literally, you have fuck all to worry about. Do they even get anxiety before their fights? What? Oh, he's gonna pressure me? Oh, hug him. Ref, save me, ref. Oh, I'm rocked. Hug him. Ref, save me. 10 count. Boxing is designed to let fighters win. And honestly, we're complaining about Gaethje and Paddy and Volkan Diego Lopez. Every boxing fight is like that. Every single boxing fight. You have a fighter that's 40-0, who I've never even heard of a good name he's beat. Where is the guy that's 37 and 10? You know what I mean? They're all fucking undefeated. How? Because they had tailor-made matchups all the way until now they're getting big fights for money. And just the production of UFC shits on boxing. That is another massive thing that shits on boxing. The promo right before the fight starts. If you want to watch a good promo, go watch the promo right before 302, Poirier versus Islam. It literally gives you goosebumps. And then they walk out. You get Poirier walking out, shines right like a diamond. You get Islam walking out. You literally cannot wait for the fight to start, and you know it's gonna be an insane fight. In boxing, they're playing some bullshit. Like, no one gives a fuck. Just you've been waiting for 50 minutes, and now they're starting playing promos. You're waiting even longer. You just want the fight to start, and they're still starting promos. And the scoring in boxing is so fucking shit. I fucking hate the scoring. In MMA, it's almost MMA. Of course, there can be close things, but you know who's winning. Most of the time, you know who's winning. You rarely have robberies and stuff like that. In boxing, I literally don't fucking know. To me, it seemed like Jake Paul was winning some rounds on Anthony Joshua. I don't fucking know. And then you have who is this guy? He just pops up. Unofficial scorecard. Who is that? Who just did that? You have robberies all the time. Triple G Canelo, where Triple G should have won. I think that was their first fight, and they had a draw. How does that happen that easily? And it happens all the time. You know, we all talk shit about UFC judging and MMA judging. I'm not sure about how they do it in ONE FC and everything, but usually UFC judging, we all talk shit about that. We can all critique it, and it's understandable. Boxing is 10 times worse. We literally don't know how good we have it as MMA fans. Imagine you only had to watch boxing. And supposedly the best fight, not even supposedly, the best fight on that card, the Jake versus Anthony Joshua fight card, was two MMA guys, Tyron Woodley versus Anderson Silva. Your best fight on your boxing card is two MMA guys that know how to entertain people. They're both entertaining. They know how to put on a show. And they have the best fight on the entire card. It's a fucking shame. It's a shame that boxing is even a sport and it's so publicized, and they get paid more than MMA fighters. And being that much heavier than someone and taking them 6 rounds, how do you take Jake Paul 6 rounds? What's that? Imagine you brought fucking, I'm not even joking by the way, put Alex Pereira in the ring with with Anthony Joshua. Boxing, Alex Pereira versus Anthony Joshua boxing, Alex Pereira would fucking smash him that night. That version of Anthony Joshua, Alex Pereira would have won. But now, put Anthony Joshua, Alex Pereira, MMA, put it in UFC. What's gonna happen, bro? Alex Pereira would destroy him in not even 1 round, in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, max until he's sleeping. Is that not just a fucking blemish on your sport? Imagine a boxing guy came and literally survived 1 round in MMA. They would not stop, the hardcore boxing fans would not stop talking about how MMA is shit. They can't hang with us. You took Jake Paul 6 rounds. He's not even a real boxer. He's a real boxer, but he's not even a good boxer. He made you look shit. So nobody watches full boxing fight cards. Nobody watches them. There's no finishes. The judges are corrupt. Boxing is built to draw, to have draws so that a second fight is built. The production is shit. The analyst and the desk is so fucking shit. I hate them. MMA Mogs boxing in everything. Bruce Buffer, entertainment, time, the time value. You know what's gonna happen. You know the scheduling, the pace. It's not even close as to who's superior. And MMA will take over boxing eventually, 10, 20 years. I hope it's soon. And by the way, the only people keeping boxing alive and making the actual fights people want to see is Saudi. And they're losing money. They have to lose money to keep the sport alive. What is the ROI? What is the return on investment in the fights they're trying to promote in Saudi? Where to get the best fight the best, you have to fucking move mountains. You have to fucking create a whole new solar system for fucking 2 people to fight. What? And you're gonna say, oh yeah, in MMA they do that as well. What? How rarely does that happen? What? John Jones? Who else are you gonna bring up? Ilya, you can't even say that with Ilya. He has the thing with his wife, alright? He's excluded. I will never watch boxing again. Never. And I made 2 boxing edits. Never again.